Hey, what's up guys, Matt from Motor King Bandit. So today on the Focus, we're gonna change out the intake to a Mountune intake, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. So first thing we gotta do is we gotta take that cowl off here so we can get space to be able to get back behind here to be able to put everything in, get everything out. So first we gotta get that thing off, that grill there. So to do so, all you gotta do is just pull up on it and pops right off. Because we gotta be able to get to the 10mm down there to be able to get that undone. And then we're going to take these caps off and then wiggle the windshield wipers loose. So yeah, so now we're going to take this 10mm off. There's one, and then repeat on the other side. So with these caps here, you just got to pop them off with a flathead. They're a little rubber, which will expose the nut underneath it. So the wiper arms were 15mm nuts, so you'll need a socket for that. Remove that, remove the washer. Now to get these wipers off, you just kind of gotta go rock them back and forth. Now, to get these off, you can't wiggle back and forth this way, because all it's gonna do is just move the arm. You actually gotta wiggle this up and down until it'll pop off. Like that. So next what you want to do is you want to pop this out. So I'll use a screwdriver and then unclip it here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to unclip it here to be able to pull up on it on each side. So just pull on this little tab and then pull up on it. So after you take those tabs out, you just pop up everything, and now you got all kinds of room to work here. So what we're going to start with, taking this center piece out here. So you have a 7mm band strap here. This is 8mm, and this one's an 8mm. I already took out this bolt here and loosened up that other one, so now we just got to get it out. There's the first part. First part's out. Now we're going to take out this boot here. Which one of these comes in handy when you're getting those weird angles. To beat it up, I mean, they're not on very tight. Just loosen it up and then use like an extension and just and you'll be able to turn it with your fingers. Now that piece is out. So there's a hose on the back here, on this part of the intake, that you actually got to push down on where the little grooves are. Push down on that, and then that one will pop off. So now there's two bolts here. This is an 8mm that holds on this part of the intake, and then this is where your cover snaps onto. What you're going to have to use is you're going to have to use a 12mm deep well to get onto that one. And we'll just remove those ones there. Make sure not to lose anything. Now for this last part of this intake, because we're loose now, is we got a band right there on the turbo itself that we have to loosen up. It's a 7mm. So that's why I said take off that cowl. I know you could do it with just by loosening up, you know, separating it where you can move it, but yeah, I wanted more space to be able to work, so that's why I chose to do it this way. That way I could see everything too. So I just pretty much just loosened up that band a little bit. Now I'm just using the socket itself to loosen it up. There we go. There's the last part of that off. Now since I ordered the Mountune intake, I'm not going to need all this Symposer stuff. So I'm just going to leave the main body attached to this right now, even though I do have a block off. And I'm just going to take out this other hose here and then take out that module there. But I'm just going to leave this here for now because I'm going to be doing the intake here shortly. So you don't have to do this step, you know, unless you're going to do a Symposer delete at the same time. Well, I figured I'd show you guys. So yeah, I took out that pipe there. There's one T25 that you take out here. You got to disconnect that electrical there, pull that piping out. There's an 8mm here and two 8mm there that we're going to take out. So this is just bonus footage here just to show you guys how to do this Symposer, just in case you don't know. So yeah, so after you take out those three 8mm bolts, you know, I have a Boomba one here that I've had, I don't know, sitting around here for a while here. So we're gonna go ahead and put that on with them two 8mm gasket up, and we're gonna put that back on there. So there, we put those 8mm back through the Boomba Symposer delete, and now this manifold is deleted. Okay, so now that we're done with the Symposer delete, now we're gonna start putting back in the Mountune intake here. So you're gonna grab this piece here along with this hose here, and we're gonna put it on the bottom here and reattach it back to the turbo. Now your factory grommets that were on your intake, we have to install onto the Mountune intake. So one thing that you guys might run into, and I'm running into this issue, is the hose itself is bottoming out on the turbo down there, but if you look, I still have that big old gap here. So I had to do some research online, and so I'm gonna have to cut that hose down just a bit so this will seat properly. I was thinking maybe there was some like bushings or spacers that were missing, but no, that's supposed to seat. So that's the issue that I'm having, so I'm gonna have to cut down that boot a bit. So keep in mind, guys, with aftermarket parts, you might have to modify them. So I had to cut this boot down just a little bit. I cut off that much. That way, my mounting points will seat to the top of the valve cover. After having to modify that boot, I was able to get it on. So now next we're gonna do the next section here, but first we got to put on this boot over here, and then we'll connect everything. So on this side, there's a notch in your boot. There's a notch down here. So you're gonna have to line those up in order to get that in. Okay, so I got this boot on. I gotta put that clamp on, but there's that notch that you gotta line up there. All right, so we're just gonna start just kind of lining up. I'm putting that clamp on there, but I'm not gonna do nothing with that. And then also, again, we had to put, also again, we had to put that bushing in this pipe here. So, well, we gotta get these boots attached over here. That one's on. Got the boot on. Now we gotta get this middle part on. Like that. And then we gotta get this one into here. All right, so there's a lot of wiggling and everything like that, but you'll get her. So yeah, so now we got the intake on. So we get the clamps to where they have to go. So we get ready to tighten up those. Like that. And like that. All right, so we got the clamps where we want them. Now we can tighten them up. So now we got to reattach that hose right there. Last, we just got to get this mounting bolt in here. And then after that, you just got to put your filter in, which it comes with this high flow filter with a hole in it. But I had already had an RS factory air box, so you just take the cover off and pop your filter in. But so that's it, guys. She is done. So it is recommended that you take out the sound deadening off of your hood to make clearance for your Mountune. I'll do that here shortly. So to get these your sound deadening off, these little clips here, see if I get it to focus. All you can do is just squeeze them and then pull. Alright guys, so that concludes today's install of this Mountune intake. Don't forget, we had to modify it a bit. So let's see if I can find that piece. I don't know where it went flying, but we had to cut this inner boot right here down there. We had to cut it like a ½ an inch to get these to seat down right. So yeah guys, so that's gonna be it on today's install. We got a lot more things to do to this car, so if you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and yeah guys, we'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.